my gosh, I'm sorry about that. Hello and welcome to Cooking with Christiana. You're watching the Christiana 321 and I am the Christiana, and today we're cooking or baking, really. I quit my job like a week ago, which means that this week is my last week at site. And one thing that I really contribute to the engineering team is I bring in cookies. So for my last week, I thought I would bring in one last batch of cookies. Today we're making the world famous chocolate chip cookies that my mom taught me how to make, and it's something that she and I did together like my whole life, and it was really cool and exciting. Like there's pictures of me on a little step stool by the counter baking away. I'm gonna put the details for like measurements and crap in the description below. But step number one, preheat the oven. It's gonna take me longer to do this than it will take my oven to preheat. But so you preheat the oven to about 325. That's the temperature for where I am. For my oven, different ovens are different. So do some experimenting. Find out what's right for you. Step two is we put some of our dry ingredients into a bowl. You need two different mixing bowls for the way that we do it. So you're gonna put 3 cups of flour into the smaller mixing bowl. Three cups of flour. Next, it's 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. 1.5. The next step is 1.5 cups of dark brown sugar, 1.5 cups of butter go into your bigger mixing bowl. You can use Crisco or butter. I like to use butter because I'm a snob, but pro tip that I did not do today, make sure that you let your butter soften beforehand. These might be a little extra sweet. I tend to go for salted butter because then you don't have to put more salt in the rest of the dough. But you do you, boo. Another technique you can use to make stirring this together go a little bit faster is to cut the butter up into chunks if you forgot to let it soften. There's also where a hand mixer or stand mixer or something would really be quite lovely. So part of the reason that you're mixing now is you don't want to mix when the eggs are in too much, because depending on how long you mix the eggs for will change the consistency of the like texture of the cookies. So these eggs I have are just like a little bit past their best by date. So to make sure that they're still good, I'm doing the old egg in a glass of water trick. Basically, put an egg in a cup of water and it floats, it's a bad one. If it sinks, it's good. Sinking, awesome. You're gonna want 3 eggs. Next, you want 3 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm not sure if I've got 3 teaspoons left in here, but I've got some more in the cupboard. 3 exactly. Ish. Now you mix it up with the eggs. I gotta get a hand mixer once I move. Basically, you don't want any chunks of butter right now, and you don't want any chunks of eggs. Like, you don't want to be able to see a yellowish tint. Alright, so then, a bit at a time, if you've got a stand mixer, maybe you can do it all at once. But my arm is not very strong, so I do about half of the dry bowl at a time, maybe a third. Mix that in real good. Try not to get it everywhere. The rest of the dry bowl. that in the sink. So after you're mixing for a while, if it seems like it's just way too much flour, there's no way it's all gonna get mixed in, mix it a little bit more. It still feels that way. You can put in just like, I don't know, a 1/4 cup of water. This is not a great technique. So once you've got this mixed to the texture that you'd like it to be, you put in 1 cup of dark chocolate chips and 1 cup of semi-sweet chips. I always say don't limit yourself. You don't have to measure chocolate chips with a measuring cup. Measure it with your heart. Usually, these bags are about a cup. So it's a cup plus some snack. And then you mix it. This again, mix it however you like. So then what I like to do is use wax paper because it makes cleanup a little bit better. Put wax paper on your baking trays. Generally, I mean, check your packaging, but each sheet of wax paper you can usually get about 2 runs through the oven with, which is perfect because we got 3 baking trays, and that'll usually be 2 runs of 3 baking trays will usually take up this whole dough for me. So I make them about this size, and then just evenly space them out. They don't have to be perfectly round, but you do want them to be about the same size so that they'll cook evenly. So we'll put these guys in the oven for, I think we'll start with 12 minutes and then we'll check on them. Basically what you want to see is the edges of the cookies turning a little bit golden. So while those are in there, I'll get the next tray ready, and then we'll just hang out for like 12 minutes. Time to do a little checkaroonie. Looking really good. They're much rounder than usual. This looks so good. Now after you take them out of the oven, the longer you leave them on the baking tray, the longer they're gonna keep baking because the baking tray is hot. So I'll usually let them sit there for a little bit, let them cool down a tiny bit, let them kind of solidify, and then I'll put them on cooling racks so that I can reuse the tray. Hey, so you can ignore all the stuff on the other side of the table. I tried to frame it out. It didn't work. The cookies are done. And I'm ready to bring them in. Thanks for watching. Last thing we gotta do is a taste test. Cheers. Now I have chocolate on my teeth. So, like this video if you liked it. Subscribe for good times, and leave a comment down below what you want to see me make next. I'll see you next week. Bye.